Hello, good morning, everybody. How are you guys? I hope you guys are good. I hope you have a great day today. Think positive, be positive. Okay, so I'm not going to go over and read the entire report, at least not in this video. But I did go through it, and I want to point out just the things that I think are important and we need to look at and listen to. Okay, so this was when the car was found. Now, on August 23rd, 2022, an autopsy was performed on the body, confirming the identity of Miss Rodney. Following the criminal investigation into Miss Rodney's disappearance and death, Nevada County Sheriff's Office determined that based on the evidence, there was no criminal involvement in Miss Rodney's death. At this time, the CHP began to investigate the fatal traffic collision. So at this point, they had determined that it was not a criminal investigation and that CHP could take over and just look at it as an accident collision report. Now, here's the thing. They go on to tell us in here that they believe the intoxication narrative, that she was drunk, got into her car, was driving down the dirt road, heading straight towards the reservoir. She did not have her seatbelt on, but she was awake and alive, driving her vehicle in there. So they want us to believe that she drove in there and she was in the driver's seat. She had no seatbelt on, but when she hit the water, she didn't just go out the window that was broken right next to her. She didn't go out the back window that was halfway down. She couldn't get out and ended up in the hatchback of her vehicle. And we're expected to think that she drove in there. See, this is the problem. I don't know how they could determine, okay, there was no accident. I don't know how they can determine, okay, there was nobody else involved, no criminal activity, when her body was found in the hatchback of her vehicle, and clearly the driver's seat was all the way back. It just makes no sense. And let's not forget that her vehicle was in neutral. Now, they're saying that speed is a factor, that she was going so fast that she couldn't stop or turn. But A, you're driving in sand. How fast could she supposedly have been going? And B, they don't even know the speed because according to them, you couldn't get any information off of the EDR. So really, how can they determine what they have determined? Now, at a speed greater than is reasonable or prudent, and in no event at a speed which endangers the safety of other persons or property. Then they go on to talk about the weather. It was clear, cool, dark. Okay. Miss Rodney was identified by her family as Kylie Mae Rodney. Miss Rodney had a valid provisional California driver's license. A California DMV check of Miss Rodney's driver's license revealed that her license was issued on 9/2/2021. At the time of the collision, Miss Rodney's license was restricted. Specifically for the first 12 months of licensure, Miss Rodney was not permitted to transport passengers under the age of 20 and could not operate a motor vehicle between the hours of 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. without a parent or other driver 25 years of age or older. Now, Miss Rodney was placed as a party to the collision by her location in the vehicle when located, which was the hatchback of the vehicle, the fatal injuries sustained, which the only injuries they mentioned in the autopsy was drowning, and that she was the registered owner of the vehicle. Now, when Miss Rodney was located by Nevada County Sheriff's Office dive teams, her body was located in the rear compartment of vehicle, just behind the rear seat. There was no evidence that Miss Rodney was wearing her seatbelt as the vehicle entered the waters of the reservoir. So I will say it again. They say that she was drunk, drove in there, obviously awake and aware, conscious, drove in there, did not have her seatbelt on, but was not able to escape out the driver's window, which was broken. Okay. Moving on. Now, this part I find quite interesting. So, Rodney was deceased at the scene, therefore, no statement was obtained. During the approximate 2-week search and criminal investigation into Miss Rodney's disappearance, numerous interviews were conducted by Nevada County Sheriff's Office, Placer County Sheriff's Office, FBI, and other assisting agencies. All of the interviews were documented in the Nevada County Sheriff's Office report number 1220-2364. During the 2 weeks Miss Rodney was missing, NCSO, PCSO, and assisting agencies conducted a thorough investigation in the search for Miss Rodney. Miss Rodney's friends, family, neighbors, and other members of the community were interviewed concerning her disappearance. So, at the time she was missing, everybody was interviewed. They say they were interviewing everybody, right? Asking, and everybody obviously said the same thing. We don't know where she is. We don't know what happened. Blah, 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 blah. Detectives and investigators investigated and documented every aspect of Miss Rodney's life leading up to her disappearance. Now, here's the crazy part. Out of respect for Miss Rodney and her family, CHP investigators did not re-interview friends and family concerning the collision. So, during the weeks that she was missing, they say they interviewed everybody, asking everybody for any information, anything that they could think of that would help them figure out where she was. Once they pulled her car out of the lake, none of her friends or family were re-interviewed concerning the car going into the water. Now, why is that? Because surely, since she was supposedly at the party, right? And there was a bunch of people there, and all those people were interviewed and said they had no idea of what happened. Once the car was pulled out of the area, out of the water in the same area where the party was supposedly at, why was not one person re-interviewed with the new information and the car had been found? Why? Makes no sense. It makes no sense. Okay. Starting on August 5th, 2022 in the evening, Rodney was attending a large party at the Placer Creek Reservoir Recreation Area. According to the NCSO report, while at the party, Miss Rodney was observed consuming various alcoholic beverages and marijuana. On August 6, 2022, at approximately 27 hours, Miss Rodney got into her vehicle to presumably drive herself home. It is unknown what exactly had occurred as Miss Rodney drove from the party's location. However, based on video footage, we're talking about the fire cam footage, and cell phone data, at approximately 32 hours, it appears that Miss Rodney drove her vehicle into the Placer Creek Reservoir. As vehicle 1 filled with water, it overturned and sunk to the bottom, where it came to rest on the bottom floor of the lake. Okay. All right. Now, I like how they got this like this. Intoxication narrative. Prior to the collision, Miss Rodney attended a large party in the Placer Creek recreational area. During the investigation, NCSO learned that Miss Rodney had been consuming alcohol and marijuana while attending the party. Miss Rodney's level of intoxication could partially explain why she drove herself into the reservoir. However, tests would need to be conducted of Miss Rodney's blood to determine an accurate blood alcohol content. After recovering Miss Rodney, she was transported to the PCSO medical examiner's office, where an autopsy on Miss Rodney was conducted. Due to Miss Rodney having been submerged underwater for an extended period of time, there was no viable blood left in Miss Rodney's body to test. The medical examiner conducted tissue tests of Miss Rodney's liver. So at this point, they have no evidence to back up the fact that they say she was intoxicated, except for being told that by certain people that were supposedly at this party. They have no actual evidence, right? The test of Miss Rodney's liver tissue tested positive for caffeine, ethanol, nicotine, codeine, and delta-9 THC. Although ethanol alcohol was detected in Miss Rodney's liver tissue, the presence of ethanol can also be attributed to the body decomp. The test revealed that Miss Rodney could have had alcohol and marijuana in her system at the time of the collision, but there was not clear enough evidence to determine so. Okay? Means they have no actual evidence for this intoxication narrative that they have been given to the public. The cause of this collision was determined to be other improper driving, with the speed of vehicle 1 as a factor. Rodney was driving vehicle from the party she was attending in the Prosser Creek Reservoir Recreation Area. The investigation suggests that Miss Rodney drove the vehicle from the party location with the presumed intention to drive home. As she attempted to navigate the various dirt roads, she found herself driving on a trail, traveling east, heading directly towards the Prosser Creek Reservoir, with speed being a factor. But they don't even know the speed of the vehicle was not listed in the report because, according to them, the black box was totally damaged and they couldn't obtain any information from it. So why they keep saying intoxication and speed are factors when they have no actual physical evidence or proof of that is beyond me. However, due to the speed Miss Rodney was driving, she was unable to slow, stop, or safely turn to avoid driving directly into the reservoir. Had Miss Rodney been driving at a slower speed, she may have been able to stop prior to entering the water. Miss Rodney's level of impairment could have also been a factor in her inability to avoid driving into the reservoir. However, there was no evidence obtained to clearly establish Miss Rodney's impairment. No evidence for their narrative that they have been giving the public. There is no evidence whatsoever. So why and how is it ethical to report it as an accident? This absolutely 100% should have been treated in a different manner. All right, now I wanted to point this out. Of course, here, where is that? Here, they have it listed as a 2012 Honda CR-V. Let me find, right here. Describe the vehicle damage. None. None. No damage to the vehicle. Interesting. Interesting. Now here on August 10th at 3 o'clock, 3:37, per tip to NCSO, male subject driving a silver CR-V with no plates. was seen getting onto westbound 80. Male driver, long sleeve, white shirt with red. Vehicle is very dirty, possibly related to missing juvenile. Be on the lookout. Then they tried to get in contact with the vehicle from Hurstdale to Kingvale. Now, later on, it does say that that it was not the right vehicle, that the VIN didn't match. But let's go on to this next one. Now, here we have one on August 16th at 8:17. A call came in that a silver Honda CRV 2013 with a Ram sticker was spotted on August 16th, 2022. Okay? There's that damn sticker. Okay, now I wanted to show you this one as well. On August 18th, 2022, silver Honda CRV with missing rear plate on a car carrier being towed by a black Dodge. Okay, now they go on again to say wrong VIN number. But not for nothing. Not a big person on coincidence. But how many silver Honda CRV 2013s are driving around with no plates on the car? Like around the same area, how many cars are driving same car driving around with no plates? Is that like a common thing? Because that would be the third one, the third Honda CRV 2013 that was called in that had either a missing plate or no plates on it at all. But then they came back and said, "Oh, it's the wrong VIN." Crazy. Now, here's the last couple of things that I wanted to go over in this video. First of all, here's the card that they said that there was no damage done to the vehicle. On the traffic incident report, it said no damage. Seems like an awful lot of damage to just list no damage. Broken window halfway down. Broken mirror, all smashed up here. Anyways, let me get to the point that I wanted to make here. This is just where they're saying the water levels, how they went down from the time that the car drove in. So here's water when the car drove in. Here's water when it was found. Okay. Let me get up here to this. This is my main thing. Oh, yes. Here's the tire tracks that they happened to spot 3 days later on August 9th, which is in the report. August 9th. This video was taken where they spotted tire tracks. But this happened on the 6th, and there was cars all up and through there in the meantime. But anyway, here's the point where I wanted to get to. Where is that? Hold on. Sorry, give me a second. The transmission selector was found in the neutral position. The car was in neutral. Now, if she was just driving along, the car wouldn't have been in neutral. Okay? It would have been in freaking drive. The only reason, actually, there's two. There's only two reasons why that car would have been in neutral. A, it was put in neutral so it could be pushed into the water. Which, by the way, if a car is going downhill, it'll go down the hill. It will go faster in neutral than it will in drive. Or B, somebody else was driving the vehicle, put it into neutral, and jumped out. But we know that that didn't happen on the 6th, like we were told. All right. So those are the things that I wanted to point out in this video. I'm going to end this one here. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light, and I'll see you all next time.